sip a hot cup of coffee. Life so sweet. Haters talking. I put the night down seat. I'm in a good place right now. Nobody can take it from me. I tell them, happy, happy, happy. My life is happy.
Good night. An official welcome to the 2025, the second edition of the Youth Awards. My name is Petra Ann Davis.
My name is Jeremy Dixon.
And we will be your hosts for tonight.
I've got to say, everybody's looking lovely. I hope you're ready for a lovely time as well. Tonight we're celebrating excellence amongst our youth, and we are in to see what the future holds for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Earlier this year, we were here looking lovely as usual. Excellence was all around, and we would have awarded 23 youths in various sectors, various divisions across SVG, with Jada Ross emerging as the Prime Minister's Champion Award. This year, the number has increased. We will be seeing 25 awardees tonight, and there would be one new Prime Minister's Champ. I'm excited to see who that is.
Oh, excitement is an understatement. I told you we're going to be looking into the future. This is your future. This is your crystal ball. This is where we see in 5 years, in 10 years. I was there on that night when won, and now I see them thriving in beautiful St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
But of course, we must invite God into our midst. And at this time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Kewama Edwards-Cottle to the podium to give us the opening prayer. Please stand.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with hearts full of gratitude and expectation. And God, even as I stand here, the words of the popular song, "Thanks, thanks, I give you thanks," are echoing in my mind, God, because as we have gathered here for such an occasion as this, God, I see that we will be celebrating life. We will be celebrating purpose. We will be celebrating every young person represented in this space. And for that, God, we have to pause to acknowledge you for being the giver of life, for being the giver of every good thing, for being the giver of wisdom, for being the giver of creativity, for being the giver of excellence, and from whom excellence flows. So tonight, God, we thank you for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you will continue to do. We also take this time, God, to bless the leadership of this nation. We say thank you for our government, for those in authority who give spaces for young people to grow, to lead, and to thrive. We lift up the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth. And God, I say thank you. Thank you for giving us vision. Thank you for our dedication. Thank you for giving us commitment, that commitment to empower the next generation. God, continue to guide and strengthen us as we serve, because your word says in 1 Timothy 1:4-12 that we should not despise youth, but be an example to believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, in purity. God, tonight I am praying and I'm declaring that over this land, over every youth gathered here, may this not just be an awards show, but a moment of affirmation. May those hearts, God, may those lives, may those persons who are being honored here here tonight rise to even greater heights in their service, in their leadership, in their walk with you. So God bless every segment tonight. Bless our chairpersons, God. Bless every speaker, every performer here tonight. May peace, unity, and joy flow through this atmosphere. And may everything, God, that is said and done bring glory and honor to your name. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. And everybody says,
Amen. That was powerful. I'm going to invite you to remain standing as we have a rendition of the national anthem by Miss Faith Grant.
Saint Vincent's land so beautiful, with joyful hearts we pledge to thee our loyalty and love and vow to keep you ever free. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. High ruin of fair and blessed isle, your mountains are so clear and green, a home to me, though I may stray, a heaven come serene. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Oh, little sister, islands are those gems, the lovely Grenadines, upon their seas and golden sand the sunshine ever beams. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true.
What a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. I feel like she deserves another round of applause for that.
I completely agree, Jagger. You can do better than that. Thank you so much, Faith.
All right, so without any further ado, I want to establish protocol. We would like to welcome Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonzalez, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'd also like to welcome Dr. the Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, Dr. Orlando Brewster. I also see Senator Shaquille Bob, and of course, members of the diplomatic mission, the Youth Advisory Council, and all of you.
You may take your seats. At this time, I invite the chairperson, Mr. Anson Latchman of the Youth Advisory Committee, to the podium for a few remarks.
Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best.
Honorable Orlando Brewster, Minister of Housing, Informal Human Settlement, Youth and Sports, other members of Cabinet, other members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, permanent secretaries and heads of department, members of the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth, nominees, other specially invited guests, members of the media, persons listening online. I also recognize the Honorable Benava Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening. Pleasant evening. Happy Independence to all, and there is no better way to celebrate 46 years of independence than with the Youth Excellence Awards of the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth. The 2024 awards, which was the inaugural awards, took place on January 11, 2025, due to a postponement. Hence, it may appear as if the Council will be having 2 awards in the same year. Nevertheless, it depicts the rate at which we are building the galaxy of excellence. Excellence must be nurtured and sustained. It goes beyond motivation, and when you have had a taste of excellence, one cannot help but to elevate. Excellence is not an accident, but a product of a high level of effort, intention, and smart choices. The 140 nominees that were nominated for the 2025 Youth Excellence Awards is a reflection of the work of our youth who are doing great things, and they have the desire to be successful. Perfection is unattainable, but in your chase of perfection, you can definitely catch excellence. You can speak about excellence over and over, but if you do not work on it, you will never achieve it. If you want to be the best, you must work harder than everyone, and that effort must not go unnoticed. As such, excellence must be rewarded. Thus, tonight we celebrate excellence under the theme, Galaxy of Excellence. Tonight is a continuation of 2024. We will witness the crowning of 25 winners across 18 sectors and 1 overall champion, that of the Prime Minister's champion, rounded out a total of 26 awards. Many of us invested time and resources into this, but if you did not win your category, do not be disheartened. There were persons last year who were nominated and did not win, but this year they will be crowned champions. Remain focused on your mission. Grumble not. Remain steadfast in your pursuit of excellence. Be like the sun. Never let the opinions of others dull your shine. What I am holding in my hand here are the 2024 Youth Awards Excellence Report and Volume 1 of the Council's Youth magazine entitled The Future. The report features all the nominees and winners from 2024, the scores, and much more. On the other hand, the magazine features about 8 pieces spanning culture, agriculture, all the way through education. These will be made available on October 30th, 2025, digitally and physically. The recently concluded Ignite Talent Search saw Jadelia Chambers taking the top position and the grand prize of $20,000. You will witness a thrilling performance by her tonight. The Council has also agreed that the 6 finalists of the Talent Search will now be the face of the Youth magazine. A very proud moment for all. Congratulations. To the entire Council, VC3 TV, API, internal and external stakeholders behind this Youth Excellence Awards, a heartfelt thank you. The part before tonight's celebration was not the smoothest. It was deemed mission impossible. But guess what? The Council is also about excellence. The activity had its ups and downs, from getting CVs, pictures from the nominees, and even getting the website ready. Nonetheless, our social media platform, Instagram, recorded over 1 million hits, and our records show that over 10,000 votes were casted in just 4 days. Kudos to the ITST team and the Council. The effort is greatly appreciated. We are all stars in this galaxy, all of us, none greater than the other. In the words of Mashona, stars do not pull each other down. To be more visible, they shine brighter together. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this time to warmly welcome you to the second Youth Excellence Award of the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth. Thank you.
All right, we would like to welcome on stage Dr. the Honorable Orlando Brewster to also give some remarks.
If Jah is by my side, I won't hide. No, I won't hide. Boom, 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 this a junior. Boom, 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 this a junior.
Thank you, Chairpersons. Allow me to acknowledge my cabinet colleague, members of the Diplomatic Corps, committee members of the Prime Ministerial Youth Advisory Council, specially invited guests, the nominees, members of the media. A pleasant evening. Now, first of all, you must put your hands together for yourself for turning out this evening and looking lovely. It is indeed a privilege as the minister with the responsibility for youth to address this gathering this evening. This is the second award ceremony from the PMAYC, and I can testify that this council has been doing tremendous work for the past 2 years since it came on stream. I remembered when we formulated this council, there were many naysayers as to what is the true function of this council. Persons wanted to know what was the true role of this council as it relates to moving St. Vincent and the Grenadines forward. And I'm happy to report, as the minister with the responsibility for youth, that across the different sectors, we have seen tremendous strides as it relates to advising the cabinet and the Prime Minister as to the way forward here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in many different areas. Let's take, for example, housing, of which I have the responsibility to manage. Before the Youth Advisory Council came on stream, we had the traditional way of building homes here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And through strong advocacy from the council, we were able to transition and transform the way how we build here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our very own James Campbell, who is the chairperson for housing, was the one who designed our first multi-family unit here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we will see those units very soon. We will have them displayed, and you will see the handiwork of our young people, especially James, who was instrumental in designing multi-family units here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let's take, for example, sports. The formation of the semi-professional league had the input of our young people because they had a sense of striving to move from one level to a professional level as it relates to sports. And for the first time here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we launched our semi-professional league, both in netball, and soon we will have, before the end of this month, the rolling out of the football or soccer as we commonly know it. So I must say that the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been doing tremendous work. Yesterday they had an excellent showing at the Youth Summit where they discussed and elaborated on a number of challenges and issues that will arise from time to time here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I was very impressed with the level and the skill set of our young people. And what dawned on me yesterday as I sat in the Youth Summit was the importance of having our young people at the table in moving St. Vincent and the Grenadines forward. I must say this. We are on a quest to take St. Vincent and the Grenadines to a first world nation status. And we have seen the handiwork of our esteemed Prime Minister for a number of years. And he has laid a solid foundation on which our young people, you, are to build now. And I am looking forward in the next 10 years to see a lot of the members of this Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth to be the next ministers in government who can help to shape the different policies here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am excited because it is a good time to be young and alive in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let's take into consideration the whole AI aspect of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know Prime Minister, he might not be as savvy with the technology as some of you. And we are depending on you, our young people, to move the needle as it relates to AI here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I want to emphasize, for those of you who are listening at home, this Prime Ministerial Youth Advisory Council plays a significant role in the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I've seen how it has blossomed from year one, just getting out of the blocks, to year two, where they are functioning now at full capacity. But I always stress to young people, no matter how high we climb the ladder, there are always room for improvement. So never let yesterday's gain dictate what you do tomorrow. You must always put your best foot forward and continue to work with this government as we take St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the next level. May God bless you and thank you, and I wish all the nominees and all of the winners tonight all the best in the near future. God bless and thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brewster. At this time, as you know, we are in the presence of excellence. And last weekend, we would have had the Ignite Talent Show. Here in our presence, we do have royalty. And I invite Miss Jedelia Chambers to the podium to give us a performance. Let's welcome her.
Good night, everyone. I am truly humbled by such kind remarks. Tonight, I have a poem especially crafted for the persons here tonight, the nominees, as well as other invited guests and other persons who hold themselves to a standard of excellence. If tonight is a galaxy of excellence, then we must be the stars, shining ever so brightly in the sky while others look in awe. Fun fact, there are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on the beach. So there are actually more of us than you would see. Some stars seem smaller, but they're simply further away. They work behind the scenes, but their achievements never make it to the front page. Some stars don't twinkle. They simply remain. Like the hard workers in our society, they stay faithful and refuse to change. Another thing that we must note, the light that we see from stars was actually emitted thousands of years ago. So essentially, the excellence of a star was produced in the past. That is the only way its light would last. In the same way, the light that you see shown here tonight, it did not just come overnight. It came from countless hours of perfecting our crafts, moments of seeking guidance in the dark. It came from time and consistency, hardship and pain. From Sunday to Sunday, they do it again. So may we be like stars that never burn out, like a tree planted by the rivers of living water that brings its fruit in its season when it comes about. Because it is our season to rise, to shine, to be consistent with our lives, to run, to soar, to dedicate ourselves all the more. But for what reason? Is it to be praised? Do we do what we do just for the fame? Working long hours, night and day, it must be for a prize that will never fade away, where treasures never fail, where no thief approaches nor moth destroys, one that will bring everlasting joy. And so in all you're doing, don't forget to be. In all of our achievements, don't forget to see the bigger picture, the purpose of it all. And may we be considered excellent in life's greatest call. Thank you.
A round of applause for Miss Jadalia Chambers. Wasn't that powerful? It was very impactful, and we can see why she emerged the winner of the Ignite Talent Show.
Powerful indeed. Speaking of powerful, we still have more speeches to come, more remarks, more to take away from this night. And without any further ado, I would like to welcome on stage Dr. the Honorable Camilo Gonzalez to give his remarks for the Youth Excellence Awards.
They can't keep a good man down.
Good night. This is Dr. the Honorable. I am not. I thank the presenter for the promotion, but I don't have a PhD, unlike many of you here tonight. I'm honored to have an opportunity to say a few words at this Youth Excellence Awards. And I think it's important for us to realize how important this Youth Advisory Council is and how significant this particular gathering is. One of the most important things, in my view, that the government has done in the last 5 years is to support young people in creating this Youth Advisory Council. And one of the most important developments from that is the extent to which the Youth Advisory Council has grabbed that opportunity and created a powerful force for change and transformation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and for recognition and celebration of the excellence of the young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you all have done a magnificent job in getting us to this point. It is the Youth Advisory Council, as Randy was laying out, that has shaped countless policies and responses and initiatives of the government since it's been created. The Youth Advisory Council has helped shape our response to natural disasters. It has helped to highlight the importance of housing and the issues of affordability of housing. It has helped to create new, fresh opportunities for sporting pursuits. It has helped to strengthen the government's support for the creative and cultural industries. It has inspired the construction of cultural and productive and artistic hubs that will be built in the northeast and northwest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It has accelerated our development of a National Center for Performing Arts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It has created the opportunities for us to increase our support to young entrepreneurs through Prime and other initiatives like that. It has shaped the way the government views the present and views the future. And the very campaign slogan that we're operating on right now, which is called Own the Future, is inspired by the words and the deeds of the Youth Advisory Council. The future is not a distant thing. The future is not something that's going to happen in 10 years or 20 years or 15 years. The future is now. And the time for young people to seize the opportunities that are being presented is now. And the people in this room, the people under this tent, have shown that they have the capacity, the innovation, the initiative, the will, the drive, the work ethic to seize opportunities and make the best of them and project their excellence throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the world. And that's what owning the future is about. It's about having a partner in the government that will help to create opportunities for you. But it is about you taking those opportunities and taking them to levels and heights that us old people in the government couldn't imagine. And those of you who are being honored, who have been nominated, who have received votes tonight, are the cream of the crop. They're the pride, you're all the pride of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have shown that given that opportunity, given that little crack, given the possibility of making your dreams a reality, you will seize those opportunities and you will produce in whatever your area of interest. You will produce quality, you will produce excellence, and you will be an inspiration for all the young people around you and all the young people who come after you. We have been investing heavily in young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And sometimes those investments don't pay off tomorrow. Sometimes it takes a while for them to pay off, but they always pay off. The safest bet in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Youth Advisory Council told us a couple of years ago that they want clarity on how young people get selected for tuition scholarships. Because 1,000 people would apply and 200 people or 300 people would get tuition scholarships. And they asked for clarity. And we said, we'll do you one better. Everybody who applies for a tuition scholarship will get a tuition scholarship. And now everybody who wants to go to university in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and qualifies to go to university in St. Vincent and the Grenadines receives support from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to go to university. We shouldn't take these things for granted. When I was a kid, there was something called the Common Entrance. And what's it called now? CPA. And if, when I was a kid, when I looked around that room, 6 out of every 10 of us wouldn't go to secondary school. And more than that, only 1 out of the 10 of us would get out of what was then called sixth form, community college. So 9 out of every 10 people sitting in that room taking common entrance with me would not get beyond O levels at best, CXC. The other 9, their academic career was over, either at age 11 or age 16. That was it. Today, the last time we had a community college graduation, 900 people graduated. And if you go back to 7 years before to see how many people sat common entrance, you would see that 1,800 people sat common entrance. So now, you don't look around the room and say 9 out of the 10 of us will not get past community college. Now half of us who sit that CPA will go on to do community college. And 100% of them who want to go on to university will get the support of the government to do that. That's transformative. And that's the result of, in part, of some of the work of the Youth Advisory Council. The Youth Advisory Council had a summit yesterday, Anson. And I had the pleasure to attend for a little bit of it and answer some of the probing questions that they were asking. And I know that other members of the government also attended and subjected themselves to questions and presentations. And it's because every member of the government takes very seriously the brain power, the talent, the innovation, and the vision of the people who are in front of us today. We believe that in this group lies the potential to continue accelerating the transformation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Transforming policy, transforming governance, transforming art, transforming sports, transforming agriculture, transforming business, transforming the way that we see ourselves. That's not a job for old people. That's a job for you guys. To level up, to see things that we cannot yet see, to imagine things and make them into reality. You are the future of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But if the future is now, you are also the present of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We go as far as you take us. We do as well as you imagine us to go. And all the young people that you know, who are here or not, are inspired by your example. You are all ambassadors for the possibility and the promise and the potential and the excellence of the youth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we are relying on you. We are counting on you to continue to shine as brightly as you do, to be the stars that our poet was discussing, to be those constellations in the sky that guide us into the future, to be our North Star, to point the way for where we need to go, and to inspire all around you and future generations about what we can do. I congratulate those nominated, those who will receive awards, and every other young person who strives to make themselves better, their families better, and their nation better. You are an inspiration, and you are living in a time of opportunity. Seize those opportunities and own your future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gonsalves. And at this time, I welcome Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves to the podium to give us a few remarks.
Oh, what a night. What a night, what a night. Oh gosh, what a night. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good.
Introducing me with Barris. A good one. Good evening, everyone. I want to recognize my cabinet colleagues, the president and the leadership of the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth, and all those who are here, who are nominees, receiving awards, members of the council, their families, their friends, and just general supporters and the media, everyone. I'm really happy to be here this evening. I've just come from an event. Every evening I have several events, not to talk about days. I just came from an event where I had to be paying tribute to a 90-year-old woman, a remarkable woman from South Rivers. And here I am with the youth. So the matter of time has been exercised in my mind. Because when you talk about young people or youth, we have to understand the concept of time. Because young people do cease being young at some time. I know it well. And what is this thing called time? If you ask an ordinary person on the road about time, they'll probably take off their watch, if they have a watch, or they'll take their cell phone and put the time, see the time, and they will tell you. It's now 10 minutes to 9. But that's not time. That's the measurement of time. In the way in which the measurement of distance is inches, feet, yards, meters, kilometers, whatever the unit of measurement you want to use. And time, measurement of time, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years. Now, if this is the measurement of time, time is something else. In the way in which the measurement of distance, that distance is something else. Distance is the spatial relationship between 2 points. And we can see the 2 points, and we can see physically the spatial distance. But time, you can't see it. But time is also a relationship between two things, two phenomena, two persons, measured in minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years. I see one of the ladies who are over there folding her hands and listening to me. It's a philosophical question. It's an important one. The old people in the villages have a view on this. It comes from the folk. And says my spirit take you. Immediately. And you find it also. People who fall in love, sometimes they fall in love almost instantly. They find out about things afterwards. Now, so it is this relationship. It's a relationship with nature. It's a relationship with one another. It's a relationship with things, measured, as I said, in these units of time measurement. So if that's time, and that's the measurement of time, how do we then proceed away from the weeds, which I've been discussing, to a larger strategic view of it. People have written books on it. Stephen Hawking, the great physicist, has written a book on time. But I think the poets have many insights. We have heard insights a short while ago on this very question from Jada Lee Chambers. Fascinating how she dealt with it. I listened very carefully. She didn't expressly address the issue that I'm addressing, but it framed what she was addressing. In the late 1790s, a dear friend of mine, you know, I've been around so long that I have friends from the 1790s. William Wordsworth, at the time of the French Revolution, intoned, "Bliss was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven." So it's blissful for somebody like me to be alive and 79, and my eyes have seen a lot. But it is a heavenly condition to be young. And this heavenly condition has to be used by you. Now, because time will move on, the measurement of time will move on. By the way, I have a relationship with things, with nature, with people. You have it too. It's only that I've been around a little longer than you, measured in the units of measurement of time. But we all experience time, this thing which we do not see. There's a Vincentian poet who addresses this also, Daniel Williams. He's now dead. He was a lawyer, quite a good poet. Perhaps a better poet than a lawyer, though he was a formidable lawyer also. You read several anthologies of Caribbean poetry, and you'll find the work of Danny Williams. He said, "We are all time, yet only the future is ours to desecrate. The present is the past, and the past, our fathers' mischiefs." Of course, sometimes too it's our mother's mischiefs, but our society is largely patriarchal, and many of the mischiefs have been from the fathers. Important, we are all time, yet only the future is ours to desecrate. How do we avoid the desecration of the future? The young poet addressed it. But there was another poet from St. Vincent who addressed precisely this question in a very interesting poem called Private Prayer, written in 1973. It was written on the occasion of the publication by Walter Rodney of his book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. By the way, if you raise your hands, how many of you know Walter Rodney? How many of you? How many of you? Let me see your hands. Okay, let me try another Walter. How many of you know Walter Raleigh? With El Dorado, one of Queen Elizabeth I's buccaneers who moved across the seas. We should know more about Rodney than we know about Raleigh. And Sheikh Ellsworth Sheikh, he was a fugel horn player. He went to Britain in the early 1950s to study literature and ended up making money as a musician, one of the more famous jazz musicians of that period in Britain and in Europe. He died in the United States of America. He actually came home and was headed the Department of Culture for a while. But it was in an environment where a minister in that period said, culture, culture. Can you eat culture? In other words, it's of no importance. Of course, we have gone past that a long time ago. And Sheikhin says, if you want to know how the whole thing runs, you have to ask your grandparents, and you have to ask your mother, and you have to ask your father. You also have to ask your daughter and your son. That's what your young poet tonight was talking about, you know. That's the poetic impulse for the formation of the Prime Ministerial Advisory Youth Council on Youth. We have to ask, if you want to know how the whole thing runs, you have to ask your grandparents, you have to ask your mother and your father, you also have to ask your daughter and your son. And you have to ask how the whole thing runs, and ask it in a language which you do not necessarily speak in. And in finding the answers as to how the whole thing runs, through the fever of history, it has to be acknowledged that we have been made compromises. Doesn't mean that we have to be compromising on fundamental principles, but we have been made compromises through the fever of history. And the poet asked the question just now, the young poet, what is the purpose? Did you remember her discourses on that? She was delivering it so well that you may have paid attention to her fantastic style, but not sufficient closeness to what she said. She said, and for all this, what's the purpose? And for her, the purpose was defined in terms of excellence. Well, Sheikhin had a purpose different but similar. The purpose in asking how the whole thing runs, and to understand through the fever of history how we are compromises. What is the purpose in finding out how the whole thing runs? Is to make a whole daughter and a whole son out of the compromises which history has made us. A whole daughter and a whole son. Not a perfect daughter, not a perfect son, but a whole one. One which is not broken. One which says, look, I'm not better than anybody, but nobody is better than us. And in order to form a whole son and a whole daughter out of the compromises which the fever of history has made us, Sheikhin advises that we have to come home. We have to come home to ourselves, and we have to come home to our own history and our understanding of our own selves, which is part of what this exercise with the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council is about, and what we are doing here tonight. Now, what has happened under the leadership of the council, with Anson Lachman in one side with his leaders, and on the political side with Shaquille Bob. It's been absolutely been remarkable, and I want to congratulate them and all the other leaders and members of the council for the fantastic work that you have done, and the way in which you have made immense progress and put a lot of issues on the agenda for further discourse. Now, if we have to avoid the desecration of our future, what we have to do in making this whole daughter and this whole son, or in the quest for excellence, is one thing we have to do. We have to own the future. But in owning the future, where the present is the past, It means you're owning the future from a platform which is both the present and the past. Because men and women make history, but only to the extent that the circumstances of history permit them so to make. You do not make history in circumstances chosen by yourselves, but in circumstances inherited from the past and which have arisen in the extant condition. And part of those circumstances in which you have to do what you have to do to arrive at excellence or to make the whole daughter and the whole son. Part of it are ideas which are in your head. And some of those ideas come from the past, which oftentimes weigh like a nightmare on your brains, on our brains. And therefore we have to develop a level of consciousness and understanding in order to clear our heads of certain ideational baggage which prevents us or which restrains us, which constrains us from owning the future. You probably haven't heard me talk in this philosophical frame for a long time. I used to speak like this when I was a lecturer, visiting professor at this or that university. But these ideas are what help to shape our nation. And ideas always, for good or ill, help to shape the nation. Now, when we arrived in office in 2001, to move from the philosophical to the empirical, or from the abstract to the concrete, what was taking place wasn't sustainable. There was an economic base which had fallen apart, with the preferences for bananas gone, like all flesh, the preferences in the market. And the country was left rudderless as to what should be done. But what was to be done was before our very eyes. You had to acknowledge what was the nature of the colonial or amended colonial economy, what were its features, and to transform it into something different in the way in which water, heated to 100 degrees Celsius, turns into steam. You have to turn it quantitatively and qualitatively into something different. And what is fundamental, and has been in all societies all over the world, is to, when you want to make these paradigm shifts, is to educate people, and particularly educate the young people. And that is what we have set out to do with the education revolution. Have everybody, for instance, at first, within 4 years, 5 years, in secondary school, when only 4 of every 10, as Camilla pointed out, used to go to secondary school. And in 2002, having embarked on the process to go towards universal access to secondary education, I then said that part of the goal of the education revolution is that we will have, by the year 2030, on an average, 1 college or university graduate per household by 2030. Remember, we just discussed time and the measurement of time, and I showed you all the interconnections. And there are persons who said, as always, there are persons, there are naysayers. You always have a number of persons, modern day Sanballat and Tobias of the Ammonites, who want to hold you back. As Nehemiah is trying to rebuild the city walls around Jerusalem, metaphorically, the prophet builder. And they said, what is Ralph talking about? He's looking at 28 years ahead. Is he going to be around? Is he going to be alive? It's arrogant for him to think he would be in office until then. That can't happen. One college or your university graduate per household by 2030. Well, the fact of the matter is this. I am wrong. And I'm asking the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines to give me a 6th term, which will make 30 years. And we are on the cusp of having one university graduate or one college graduate per household. It's happening right as I'm speaking. And this is the same way in which we use that as the base. Same thing which we did with if you want to transform the economy, you have to have particular kinds of infrastructure, like, for instance, the airport, which they said couldn't be done, like the bridge over Rabuka, the medical facilities, including what we have done in Georgetown with the modern medical and other centers of health across the country, and, of course, the acute care hospital at Arnisvale, which is being built now for $300 million, and the port, and the facilities in housing and sports and culture, and the sea defenses and the river defenses, and the interconnectivities on the roads with the bridges. All those things had to be done alongside with the education revolution, which is fundamental. And as we expand, the education revolution is deepening and widening and broadening. And the next phase has to be, as from an educational standpoint, one of the infrastructures which we have to build, main pieces of infrastructure, is a science and advanced technology center, which would include all the issues of the traditional sciences, but also artificial intelligence, which would increase scale. And we have to put together, and we are rolling out, and we have a number of names already, to roll out a science and advanced technology brains trust called SAT-BT, which will provide the direction from a scientific technological standpoint for helping to lift where we are today to a first world country of a special kind in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the year 2040, 15 years from now. Again, some people will say, what is the matter with this 79-year-old man? He's looking at something in 2040. I may or may not be here in 2040. I hope I'm here to see it. I wouldn't be in the job in which I am. Because after this run, I want to go up to Goss and cool out and go in the village and play a lot of dominoes and talk to a lot of young people and help to do things in the communities beyond what I'm doing now. But that is the next phase of our development. And you, the young people, whom we have trained or in the process of training in this advanced scientific and technological world, you have to be in the vanguard. And organizations like this, the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth, is part and parcel of the mechanisms, the institutions to help to guide and drive this process. I'm talking to you in a very sober and measured way. Now, in the process, there are two things you have to be doing, apart from all the organizational matters and all the resources which have to be mobilized. And by the way, I'm mobilizing the resources. I may have to go away for a few days to a country, and when I do go, you will know which country, to see if I can sign the agreement relating to the Science and Advanced Technology Center. We have the space going up French's behind the university at the West Indies Global Campus. The young people in this vanguard will have this very special role. And we have already had a base with the education revolution and everything else, and the infrastructure and the technologies as we are rolling out. And we have arrived at the top tier of the high level of human development. That's what we have achieved already. We were, in 2001, only Guyana and Haiti we were above, according to the United Nations Development Program. Now we are ahead of, well, Guyana and Haiti still, and Guyana is rising because of their oil. We don't have oil. We have been using our brains and what we have naturally. We are ahead of Jamaica, Suriname. We are ahead of Belize, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica. Those 8. We are ranked 76th in the world in human development. Trinidad and Tobago is ranked 72nd. We don't have oil. We don't have natural gas, and they have. What we have done together is absolutely remarkable, despite the fact that we have had 22 serious natural disaster events. We have had COVID, and we have had 21 of volcanic eruptions in April 2021. I think that what we have done is incredible. It is fantastic, and history will record that. But we are not yet finished, and we have to own the future. I want to set it out from first principles for you, and you will listen, you will hear me more on this as the election campaign goes on. Not only is that Labour is working for all of us, so you see from what we have done in the past to what we are doing now, but it's linked to us owning the future, where we are going. You have to have a frame of reference. You have to have a plan. And it has to be credible. And you have to have a great ambition for it. So, there are 2 things in addition to all of that. You have to have, and I was coming to this point, on a number of matters, in the question of time, you must have a patience and a calm. But at the same time, you must have the understanding, the experience, the wisdom, and the judgment to know when you do not need to be always patient, that sometimes, and at particular junctures, you have to move with speed, with expedition, the fierce urgency of now. Because you often may have to move across a chasm. And a chasm cannot be crossed by baby steps. If you do, you will fall beneath the widening gorge. Yet at the same time, the fierce urgency of now must not become the tyranny of now, because there are certain matters which demand, which require, by their very nature, a patience and a calm. Because sun brightens stone, even as the greener leaves explode, and all the river burns. You'll wonder perhaps why these multiple metaphors. Those of you who live near to rivers, as I live near to one in Connery, And I usually, when my children were young, I used to take them there, all of them, to give them this lesson about patience and calm. Yet at the same time, things are happening simultaneously with the calm. You'll go, you look at a stone. That which is submerged, that part which is submerged, that part which is in the water is darker than that part which is on top. The part which is on top is exposed to the sun for hundreds, nay, thousands of years. And the sun has brightened the stone. Sometimes it's even brighter because women before washing machine had to go there and sap their clothes on the stones. But when you look across on the side of the banks of the river, you see the greener leaves are exploding. These things are happening simultaneously. Patience and calm, and the need for urgency, because life, living, and production also demand urgency. But not to have a tyranny of now, because there are some things which require patience and calm. This college in which we are today, in 2001, the 4 components which make up the college today, the 4 divisions, they had in total just about 450 students. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but that's about the average. We had 350 prisoners in the prisons. Today we have 2,700 students at the community college. We have more than 6 times the numbers of students. And in the prison, we have 393 at the moment. You do the math and you'll see the ratio, despite what all they're talking about. You have to just look at the information, study the data. I have immense faith in the young people of this country. And if you want one example, made material. I launched a program called the Economically Disadvantaged Student Loan Program. Sometimes you need some help other than what the government does for you to get to university. But you don't have to go about looking for somebody to sign as guarantor. The Minister of Finance signs it. Since 2002, when this program was launched, the Minister of Finance, first myself and now Camilo, we have signed guarantees in excess of $100 million for young people. We trust you that you will pay back. 20% of those who borrowed have not paid back. They have gone. But unless people pay back, the fund will be depleted because it has to be, it's a revolving fund. There is no government in the world which trusts the people, the young people, to sign for them up to $150,000 in the case of legal students and medical students. Ponder that question. And if you don't pay, the Minister of Finance has to organize payment for the bank or the credit union. That is trust. In fact, we have faith in you more than sometimes your own family may have trust in you. I want us to go on together. And I want to tell you this before I finish. I may not get an opportunity to talk to such a talented group of young people at one single place. I know when we go to rallies, we will have more young people, but I'm talking this very special group who are here for awards in excellence. And that's why I've spoken the way I've spoken here tonight. Not too long from now, I will advise the Governor General to dissolve Parliament. and we'll have fresh elections. Not too long. I'm not telling you when. By the way, 3 weeks ago, Eloise asked me, when was the election? I told her that 2 persons know, Ralph and God, and that she's neither. So it's a closely guarded secret. And you have to do it that way for tactical purposes. But we're going to have this election. There's some persons that are going to come to you and tell you to give them a chance. I want you to say to them, you're not going to chance your future. Look at their theme. They have photographs. They have photographs of themselves. And they say, together we win. They're telling you that with them, we who on the poster, we will win. I'm telling you that we are working for you and own the future. That's what I'm telling you. And when persons come to you and tell you, give a chance. I have contributed to building the National Lottery from an institution with $10 million in revenue, under $10 million when we arrived in office, to a $100 million revenue earning institution. If you want to take a chance, I advise you to play the National Lottery. You're not, the risk is too great in these times. You do not want someone with an L plate to drive the motor vehicle. You want experienced, seasoned driver. I want to make that point to you. We have in these small countries a narrow area for error. In the United States of America, in Britain, in France, in Germany, in China, in India, in these larger countries, there's a lot of space for mistake. They can recover very easily, making a judgment, an error of judgment. An error from poor, weak, untutored leadership, lazy leadership. If you make that mistake and the error is made, and the chances of the errors being made, there would be reversals. You'd have taken a chance and gambled with your future. You didn't set about the sure path of owning it. I just want you to ponder on this. The risks are grave. If you listen to the news, you see the activity taking place on the seawater outside of Venezuela. If, God forbid, a regime change enterprise is embarked upon by countries external to Venezuela, there will be a civil war in Venezuela. And there will be a lot of people who are leaving, refugees. They'll go to Trinidad. I've seen that many senior officials are already leaving Trinidad. They will go to Grenada, and they will come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And when you have an internal civil war, not only good and decent people move, a lot of vagabonds move because they move hoping to make money out of the chaos. You need steady hands, you need safe hands, you need experienced hands, you need wise hands, and you need a driver who has driven you through many a disaster. And we have come out better more prosperous, more assured than ever before. There are many of them will come to you and appear to be very confident. Remember what my old friend William Shakespeare said. Because they have at the moment a little brief authority in the opposition. Man, proud man, dressed in little brief authority, most assured of that which he is most ignorant. And you get a lot of assurance with a lot of ignorance from some people. I've spoken to you tonight as serious young people, as adults. I've spoken to you as a patriarch, as an ancient warrior. I do not want to leave behind any unfinished task, and I want you to be in the forefront with me, together in communion, to own the future, to build upon our existing work, and to go towards a first world nation. Paris, London, New York, and Toronto would be larger than St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But what we will have, they will not have, because we will have greater equality and a Caribbean vitality and a further ennoblement of our Caribbean civilization in a manner which is supremely superior to whatever else may be before us. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you to our Prime Minister for his remarks. At this time, I would like the presenters to make their way stateside. For those of you who are here, you should know the rules that are associated with these awards. But just as a little reminder, these nominees were not plucked off of the street. These nominees were not just seen on social media and said, hey, let's give them an award. These nominees were carefully selected. First and foremost, they must be between the ages of 15 years and 35, no older than 35 years old. The sectoral chairpersons were responsible for identifying the various awards, and also they made a rubric to evaluate the nominated individuals. The awards are also independent of each other. Also, there were external nominators to the council, but the core committee would have identified these individuals. In case of a conflict of interest, the party or parties involved will be asked by the chairman of the council to recuse him or herself. And as you know, there is voting involved. Social media was lit for the past week with individuals trying to solicit votes. They're telling people, hey, click this link. Jagger, did you see any of that?
I did, and I think the chairman actually mentioned that they had over 10,000 votes in 4 days.
And that in itself speaks volumes to the reach that the council and this award ceremony has on Vincentians. It also says how much of Vincentians, how much youth are involved with the council.
All right. So, without any further ado, we're going to jump straight into why we're all here. This is a night of celebration. This is a night of looking into the future. This is a night to congratulate our youth. So, to all the presenters, come stage side. We are ready to get the awards rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, warm up your hands because a lot of clapping has to be done. A lot of congratulations have to be given. And a lot of pride has to come out of your hearts as well. All right? So, without further ado, we head to the first award, the Young Visionary Award.
The nominees for Youth Visionary Award are Lenicia Johnson, Desmerel Hackshaw, Nikisha James, Solange Fernandez,
Hanyon Duncan, China Primus, Glenroy Jacobs.
Visionary Award will be presented by Miss Leanne Clark. Just for some perspective, the Young Visionary Award recognizes a young individual whose business demonstrates a strong vision for the future and shows potential for significant growth.
And the winner of the Young Visionary Award goes to Solange Fernandez.
To all the winners, I'm going to ask you to make your way up the red carpet. That's in the middle of the crowd. Up the red carpet, up the stairs, and collect your Youth Excellence Award. Fantastic. Heading to the next segment, Most Outstanding Youth in TVET.
The nominees for Most Outstanding
Presented by
Youth in TVET
Timora
Award
Peters.
The nominees for Most Outstanding Youth in TVET Award are Ashron Robinson, Jesse Seth Kane, Shireen Hathaway, Akia Solomon, Keyshawn DeRoche, Ranil Thomas, Aisharta Nanton,
Jadil Riffin, Amazia Morris, Renardo Rogers, Goldine Kirby, Jamel Samuel, Tamara Brown, Kasanki Williams. The nominees for Youth Champion in Architecture Award are Godwin James, Zeron Samuel,
Leshante Cato,
Goes to an individual who is visionary and is capable of understanding the client's requirements and turning these requirements into a masterpiece architectural design.
And the winner of the Youth Champion in Architecture Award goes to Mr. Godwin James.
Presented by Mr. Javed Marksman.
The nominees for Youth Athlete of the Year award are Shafiqua Maloney, Uroy Ryan, Cody Grant, Shaquana Jacobs,
Handel Robin, Kenise Green, Stephen Pierre.
It goes to the Youth Athlete of the Year, which honors a remarkable young athlete who has shown outstanding skill, commitment, and sportsmanship throughout the season. This esteemed award celebrates a player whose individual brilliance and contributions have made a significant impact in his or her sporting discipline.
And the winner of the Youth Athlete of the Year award goes to Mr. Cody Grant.
And remember, all recipients, you are welcome to make any remarks that you would like to do at the microphone on stage. To the Youth Mentorship Award. And this will be presented by Mrs. Kewama Edwards Cottle.
And the nominees for Youth Mentor Award are Adrian Constance, Samantha Diamond, Sheldon Frederick, Jamel Providence, Kadisha Smart,
Ulrich Pompey, Andre Theobalds, Michael Craig, Tevin Brown.
And the winner of the Youth Mentor Award goes to Mr. Michael Craig. Winners, just a gentle reminder that the mic is here for you to say a few words as you collect your award.
Yes, good night, everyone. So I am not Michael Craig. However, we both went to the same church. He's a very good brother of mine, and I'm just accepting this award on his behalf. He's someone who is very passionate in what he believes in. He's someone who ignites a fire in persons nearby who would want to serve God and also would want to be very excellent in the work that he does. So Michael, I know that you're looking. Congratulations, my brother. And to all the other awardees and nominees, congrats.
Fantastic. Moving on. We are heading to the Environmental Stewardship Award. And this award will be presented by Miss Chrisanne Mofford.
The nominees for Youth Environmental Stewardship Award are Christy Short, Tamisha James, Kalisha George, Shernell Hathaway, Shanae Brown,
Melinda Robinson, Moesha Thomas, Jodisha Ryan, Halle Douglas, Adia Daniel.
This award honors a young individual who demonstrates exceptional environmental stewardship through innovative conservation practices, effective resource management, and impactful initiatives that promote climate action and sustainable practices for the long-term health of our nation.
And the winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award goes to Miss Kalisha George.
want to thank my peers for recognizing me. And I want to keep it short, but I want to remind us that we're all supposed to be champions of the environment. And I kept saying throughout this entire period of being nominated that it doesn't matter who wins as long as the environment wins at the end of the day. Thank you so much.
What a night this is turning out to be. Up next in the categories, Youth Sailor Award. And this award is being presented by Mr. Kwesi Allen.
The nominees for the Youth Sailor Award are Kai Marks Descent, Kieron Harris,
Joshua Weinhard, Scarlett Hardley.
This award recognizes the outstanding contribution being made by our young people to preserve and promote sailing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, while representing our country with pride wherever they go to participate in sailing activities.
And the winner of the Youth Sailor Award goes to Mr. Kai Marks Descent.
All right. Heading into the next category. This represents the Best Mobile or Web Application Award. This award is being presented by Miss Orika McKenzie.
The nominees for Best Mobile or Web Application are Alan Gooding, Janika John,
Siren Cyrus, Kareem Cambridge.
This award goes to an individual who has developed an application to solve a need or enhance a workflow or business process.
The award for the Best Mobile or Web Application goes to Mr. Kareem Cambridge, who is actually defending his title as he won the award in 2024. It does not appear that Mr. Cambridge is here. The award can be collected at the Prime Minister's office at your earliest convenience.
Moving on to the next award, Youth Excellence in Security. And this award will be presented by Senator Shakel Bob.
The nominees for the Youth Excellence in Security Award are Ariana Wiley, Romancia Jordan, Shanice John, Brian Alexander,
Brittany Sullen, Ryan Barber, Edison Smith, Elroy Kwame.
This award goes to an individual who stands by the oath to serve and protect and holds the security of citizens and others in the highest regard.
And the winner of the Youth Excellence in Security Award goes to Miss Romancia Jordan.
Moving on to the next category, the Creative Arts Excellence Award. And this will be presented by Mr. Kwesi Allen.
The nominees for Creative Arts Excellence Award are Deja Henry, Shanique Stewart, Leandra Thompson-Guy,
Kyle Niles, Jeremy Payne, and Sean Roach.
This award recognizes a young Vincentian creative, be it painter, sculptor, curator, photographer, filmmaker, craftsperson, curator, graphic designer, illustrator, animator, dancer, actor, spoken word artist, and fashion designer who exemplifies the qualities of innovation and commitment to their medium, as well as an interest in building creative community and enabling not just their own work, but the work of their peers.
And the award for Creative Arts Excellence goes to Mr. Jeremy Payne. It does not appear like Mr. Payne is here, so we'll move right along.
And moving on we shall to the Tourism Youth Ambassador Award. This award is being presented by Mrs. Zelika Lewis-Craig.
The nominees for Tourism Youth Ambassador Award are Leandra Vera, Lima Henry, Pacey Ann Laidlow, Zia Samuel,
Rakeem DeFreitas, Desmerel Hackshaw, Isaiah Tony.
This award honors an individual who embodies the true spirit of promoting and marketing St. Vincent and the Grenadines as an unofficial tourism ambassador. His or her portrayal of SVG has inspired many to recognize and celebrate our little gems.
And the winner of the Tourism Youth Award goes to Cassian Ledlow.
Moving on to the Craftsman Excellence Award. This award is being presented by Mr. James Campbell.
The nominees for Craftsman Excellence Award are Jaden Bailey, Asburn Brown,
Homie Arundel, Sheen Trimmingham.
This award is being presented to those skillsmen who have displayed significant excellence in their fields.
And the winner for the Craftsman Excellence Award goes to Shane Trimmingham.
Moving on to the next award, the Most Resolute Youth Award. And this is being presented by Miss Shaze Yami.
The nominees for Most Resolute Youth Award are Jadiel Riffin, Jadelia Chambers, Rashida Batiste.
This award goes to an individual who influences others positively, is committed to the job, and resilient regardless of adversities and the perceptions of others.
And the winner of the Most Resolute Youth Award goes to Miss Rashida Batiste.
Good night to everybody. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This that I'm holding in my hand here is a reflection of strength, determination, and perseverance. I would first like to thank God because He comes before everything and anyone. Thank you to all the supporters and the voters who saw me through it, even after Hurricane Beryl. Thank you to the Prime Minister and the Youth Council, along with other ministers who work hard in putting this initiative rewarding the hard-working young people of St. Vincent, making a positive impact. If you are a nominee tonight and you do not win in your category, please don't stop doing what you are doing. You are equally contributing to the future of St. Vincent and the Grenadines because you are the future. We are the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I know we just went through 13 different categories. You were sitting for a while, so now it's time for some entertainment. I mentioned earlier that we are surrounded by stars. We would have seen Jadelia, who was the winner of the Ignite talent show. And now we have the second place winner, Mr. Matthew John, who is going to give us a rendition.
What a fantastic performance. We gotta say, Modern Pan is well and truly living bright in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Big ups to Matthew John. Really ignite? He really, you know what I meant. Really lifts us up this evening. All right, heading straight back into the awards. The most outstanding youth farmer. This award will be presented by Miss Tamisha James.
The nominees for Most Outstanding Youth Farmer are Rickle Hector, Dominic Frederick, Jessilee Batiste,
Chelsea Lavio, Zawani Nero.
This award will be awarded to an individual who showed exceptional promise in crop and animal production and incorporates modern and sustainable farming techniques.
The most outstanding youth farmer award goes to Mr. Dominic Frederick.
Fantastic. Moving on to the next award. Health and Well-Being Excellence. This award will be presented by Dr. Rikisha Laborde.
Nominees for Health and Well-Being Excellence Award are Jamito James, Janique Williams, Leorel Gibson,
Arthur Lawrence, Kevin Glasgow, Hayashma Charles.
This award will be presented to an individual who has displayed significant impact in health and wellness being.
And the award for Health and Well-Being Excellence goes to Miss Janique Williams.
Good night, everyone. For those who don't know me, I am a physical therapist under the Ministry of Health, and I am also the founder and owner of PhysioFlex Rehabilitation, which is my own private practice. I must say thank you to everyone who voted for me, and thank you to the Prime Ministerial Advisory Council on Youth for this opportunity. Thank you.
Moving on to the next award. Excellence in Youth Empowerment Award. This will be presented by Miss Nayala De Freitas.
The nominees for Excellence in Youth are Oshana Derrick, Rianka Chance, Adia Daniel, Kyle Brown,
Naya Ferrari, Nakisha James, Isaiah Tony.
This award celebrates an individual who is deeply invested in the holistic development of young people, preparing them for success in life and fostering the next generation of leaders.
The award for excellence in youth empowerment goes to Rianka Chance. Just a reminder that awards can be collected at the Prime Minister's office at your earliest convenience.
On to the next. The Youth Digital Media Excellence Award. This award will be presented by Miss Jamelia Crick.
The nominees for Youth Digital Media Excellence are Ari Shaw, Crystal Charles, and Lee's Providence.
Sharice Roberts, Janad Ford.
This award would recognize an up-and-coming social media personality who uses his or her platform positively to engage other individuals and grow his or her brand.
And the award for Youth Digital Media Excellence goes to Mr. Janad Ford.
Good night, everyone. First off, I want to say thank you for the recognition of this award. However, ultimately, what I would like to share tonight is that for every young person that is out there, oftentimes you feel like you're walking and nobody's watching, and you really may lose motivation sometimes. However, what I would like to share tonight is don't necessarily focus on the motivation, but try and stay consistent. Because even when you're not motivated, once you're consistent, your work would definitely be seen.
And coming up next, we have got the Cultural Excellence Award. This award will be presented by Senator Shakel Bob.
The nominees for Cultural Excellence Award are Giles Garraway, Jaquel Mars, Shannon John,
Hannah Archibald, Omega St. Hilaire, Zena Lewis.
This award goes to a young technician who incorporated traditional or indigenous themes into their work, such as steel pan, calypso, folk music, or any other cultural form.
The award for cultural excellence goes to Jaquel Mars.
And moving on to the next category. Youth Journalism Excellence. This award will be presented by Miss Jamelia Crick.
The nominees for Youth Journalism Excellence Award are Ari Shaw, Desmerel Hackshaw,
Crystal Charles. Gaylorn Brown.
This award would recognize a young reporter who has maintained journalism integrity and ethics to report a story that has strong value and impact on society.
The award for Youth Journalism Excellence goes to Miss Crystal Charles. Awards can be collected at the Prime Minister's office at your next earliest convenience.
And coming up next, the Youth Radio Personality Award. This will also be presented by Miss Jamelia Crick.
The nominees for Youth Radio Personality are Abedi DuPont, Alexander Cyrus, and Domali Roberts.
This award goes to an individual who has exemplified excellence in radio work.
The Youth Radio Personality Award goes to Mr. Abedi DuPont. Once again, awards can be collected at the Prime Minister's office at your next earliest convenience.
And moving on to the next category, Engineer of the Future. This award will be presented by Miss Maurice Franklin.
For Engineer of the Future are McQuinn Snag and Miguel Francis.
This award recognizes a youth engineer who uses scientific principles to analyze, design, and solve problems.
The Engineer of the Future Award goes to Mr. Miguel Francis. It does not appear that Mr. Francis is here. Your award can be collected at the Prime Minister's office.
And the next award, Vincentian Youth Ambassador. This award will be presented by Miss Chrisanne Mofford.
The nominees for Vincentian Youth Ambassador are Anicia DeRoche, Naya James,
Charisma Lee, Shari Bramble.
This award celebrates an outstanding youth in SVG who demonstrated exemplary leadership, community service, and strong commitment to representing the values and spirit of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The Vincentian Youth Ambassador Award goes to Miss Naya James.
Good night, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Almighty God. Without Him, none of this would have been possible. I'd like to thank my parents for their strong support, as well as my family and friends. Thank you to everyone who would have voted for me, to the organizations that would have shaped me into the girl I am right now, the Girl Guides Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Rotary Club, particularly the Interact Club of the St. Vincent Girls High School, and my alma mater, the St. Vincent Girls High School. Without these organizations, I would not be here today or would not be the girl I am today. So once again, thank you very much, everyone.
And in the next category, the Regional Integration Youth Champion. This award will be presented by Senator Shakel Bob.
The nominees for Regional Integration Youth Champion Award are Adia Daniel, Annalise Mack, Janaya Bonady.
This award celebrates an outstanding youth in SVG who demonstrated exemplary leadership. Who exempted exemplary leadership, community service, and a strong commitment to representing values and spirits of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The winner of the Regional Integration Youth Champion Award goes to Miss Adia Daniel.
Everyone, just really quickly, I'd like to thank my mentors, my parents, my family, my friends, my community. I'm big on community, I'm big on youth, and collaboration is not just intra-regionally, but it's also a part of who we are and how we relate to people and doing grassroots work. So thank you.
Fantastic. Coming up next, the Nonprofit Excellence Award. This award is presented by Orica Mackenzie.
The nominees for Nonprofit Excellence Award are Police Youth Club, Rotaract, SVGCC, Digital Media Creatives.
The winner of the Nonprofit Excellence Award goes to the Police Youth Club.
You'll come back. You can't go yet. Come. Right? Yeah, you can't leave yet. Come. Yes, it's about you. Right. Good night, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank God for bringing us thus far. Prime Ministerial Advisory Council for recognizing, nominating the Police Youth Club. For those who voted, it all shows that the hard work and dedication to youth development and the holistic development of youth in St. Vincent and Grenadines have not gone unnoticed. I want to say, first of all, in my humble opinion, the Police Youth Club, if it's not the most, but one of the most effective youth organization as it pertains to youth development. We are second to none, and the award shows that, par excellence. But it would be remiss of me if I do not say thank you for the trailblazers who would have paved the way for such an organization to be here today. the founder, Mr. Arden Tannis, who started with 5 boys in Barley, who saw the need of a different type of policing to meet the needs of young people. And from there, we now have police youth clubs from Fancy to Chatibelair, from Beckway down to Union Island. Former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Miller, who wanted structure and continuity, so he made sure that he brought it as part of our organization, the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. And of course, now Deputy, then NCCP Director, Mr. Joseph, Frankie Joseph, for drafting the policy that now governs the Police Youth Club. To all our hard-working members, Police Youth Club coordinators, of course, police and civilian coordinators for the hard work and dedication, the parents and the guardians who have entrusted us with these young people to help mold them. And I can tell you, the Police Youth Club go down in the trenches. We are not just any youth organization with prestige. We go down in the trenches. We put our money where our mouths are, and we ensure that our young people are better young men and women. And these are just some examples. And they are the ones who are celebrating, not me, because I'm past the age of youth. So let us give the young people of St. Vincent and Grenadines a hearty round of applause. And thank you very much for recognizing the Police Youth Club. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, we say thank you very much, and may God bless you. To all the nominees and all the winners, congratulations. Have a good night.
Very, very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 awards left. This has been a night of prestige, a night of celebration, a night of looking into the future. Coming up next, we have got the Chairman's Award, and this will be presented by the Chairman himself, Mr. Anson Latchman.
The nominees for Chairman's Award are Nyala De Freitas, Aiko Rodette, Nafisha Richardson, Kewama Edwards, Jamilia Crick, Shays Yami.
The Chairman's Award goes to an individual who is productive, timely, and demonstrates a high level of leadership.
The winner of the Chairman Awards is Nafisha Richardson. Do we have a representative for Nafisha? Awards can be collected at the Prime Minister's office.
And speaking of the Prime Minister's office, the biggest award of the night. This is the one that takes it all home. The Prime Minister's Champion Award. This award will be presented by Dr. the Honorable Prime Minister Ralph E. Gonsalves, Chairman Anson Latchman, and Senator Shaquille Bob. We just asked the Prime Minister to join us on stage as we present the Prime Minister's Champion.
And the winner of the Prime Minister's Award is Miss Aishirta Nanton. Let's give her a round of applause.
We
Ladies and gentlemen, what a night it has been, and I want to invite all of the winners so far right back on stage. Let us get a family photo together. All of the winners tonight, you are invited on stage right now. Let's get a photo. Let us congratulate you properly. Let's celebrate youth excellence. We would also like for all the committee members to be on stage and ministers as well.
Jump up to this non-stop turn and twist. Out of His mercy. Watch what the done with one. Here, but you man to know. Me all walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl. Tell me when.
All right, so if you're in the family photo, the photographer has asked if you are, you have a height deficiency like myself, to please get in front. Don't mix up in the back if you know you are vertically disinclined, right? So if you're short, on the shorter side, please get to the front of the family photo.
Jump up to this non-stop turn and twist. Out of His mercy. Watch what the done with one. Here, but you man to know. Me all walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl. Tell me where you get it from. Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me have the thing where you are waiting. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl. How will you get it from? Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in. Why? But to be would be more than that to take your hand and lead you to the promised land. Me 20-foot diamond. All you got to do is be true, so let's go respond. Satisfy your emotion. Hotter for the press, instantly she was. She no hold and tongue, and she no got time or us. Things smooth and precious like she never get.
Don't go far, everybody, because we are celebrating still. We have got Fire Empress coming up. We've got the cocktails open up. You can get your food. We've got live entertainment. This is going to be a fantastic night of celebrating youth excellence in SVG.
On your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in, me have the thing where you are waiting. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl. How will you get it from? Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Can't let me in. Why? But you would be more than that to take your hand and lead you to the promised land. Me 20-foot diamond. All you got to do is be true, so let's go respond. Satisfy your emotion. Hotter for the press, instantly she was. She no hold and tongue, and she no got time or us. Things smooth and precious like she never get a cut. Once on the expand, I've got to all and pull up. Giddy up, me I forget to is a mouse. Think I walk like a